New at 10, state lawmakers jumping into action, working on new legislation as concerns grow about the Alabama Supreme Court's ruling that embryos are children. Bills have been filed that clarify that only fertilized embryos inside a woman's uterus are considered human life. Meanwhile, at least 3 in vitro fertilization clinics in the state have put a pause on their treatments following the state Supreme Court's ruling. WAAY 31 reporter Maddie McCaffrey joins us live now in Huntsville with more. Maddie.
Yeah, Dan, Dr. Brett Davenport here at the Fertility Institute of North Alabama has spent the past week reassuring patients that their IVF practice is not going anywhere in light of the recent ruling by the Alabama Supreme Court. Dr. Davenport says legal liability goes in 2 different directions with the complicated process of IVF. The first liability is medical error, like the staff doing routine work who are liable if they make a mistake. Dr. Davenport says his patients always sign paperwork consenting that they know this is a possibility. But right now, his concern is the liability in terms of embryos that are not implanted.
The bigger concern is the embryos that are stored. Are we allowed to willfully discard embryos that are either abnormal or excess that a family's not going to use anymore? And that's what is in a holding pattern right now, because we are legally liable for that. And we have to make sure that we're not breaking the law by misplacing those embryos. And so,
this concern for legal liability of stored embryos is what has caused a handful of IVF clinics in the state to pause their treatments. It has families in Alabama who are going through IVF understandably worried.
We just started freaking out about, are we going to be able to continue, and have we wasted all this time and money already, and anxiety?
People need to know that this is affecting couples, real life couples who are trying to start families, who are just trying to live the quote unquote American dream, and you're stopping us from having a child.
Dr. Davenport here in Huntsville says he's confident lawmakers will amend the ruling by the state Supreme Court for further clarification.
I do think that this law was intended to protect fetuses in utero, and I do have high hopes that the legislation is going to realize that and correct this very soon.
Now, we heard from one local OBGYN today who, on the condition of anonymity, told us that their practice heard today from their malpractice insurer that they should not tell patients that they are sorry if they experience a miscarriage, because saying you're sorry could be potentially introduced as an admission of guilt. We're going to be following up on this for you. For now, I'm reporting live in Huntsville with coverage you can count on. Maddie McCaffrey, WAAY 31 News.